Welcome to this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
And you know, it's so ironic that we're bringing people this morning. We're going to be talking about the drought here shortly, and yet there's rain behind us, all around us. There's clouds. There was thundering and lightning.
There's an irony to see that the rain is here and we're talking about drought, but it's a good thing.
That's
I'm
a good
glad
thing.
to feel the rain, and it's feeling good right here.
Yeah, so we decided to stand in the rain, whether my mascara runs or not. Who cares? Because it's raining.
It's cold.
Well, you know that you can watch us, of course, every morning on KSEE 24, the NBC affiliate, at 5:30 a.m. and then on CBS 47 at 6:30 a.m. And if it's too early to set your dial, you can watch us online and get all those past episodes at onmetv.amptvnow.com. And, you know, shortly the city of Fresno is going to be doing a campaign, and we'll be letting people know about that in the next week. But, you know, Governor Brown says he wants a 25% reduction in water usage for every city here in the state of California.
Wow, that's interesting.
It's interesting because as we look at these pictures, we have the Oroville Lake, and then there's also the Folsom Dam that will show here. And you'll see a difference, like a 4 to some of them 2-year span and 4-year span difference. And you'll see where the lake is nice and full, the dam is nice and full. But on the other side of the picture, you can see the mounds of, I'd say, rocky dirt hills that are just displaying the drought problem we have here in California.
Yes, just when I take my walks even along this area right here on Fulton area, the dams in there, I see that it's dried up. There's no water in there.
Right. So we're going to be showing people over the next 4 weeks how they can conserve on water. There are water cups out there, so don't think that just because. Consider if you've got a little rain from this week, from the rain that we're standing in, consider that watering your lawn because there are going to be some water cups out there, and we'll be talking about that over the next 4 weeks and keeping you up to date on some of those restrictions that the city of Fresno wants you all to know about. Meanwhile, we're going to be talking about or giving you the latest headlines here shortly. And we're also going to briefly talk about that Tony Robinson case and how perhaps our Fresno Police Department might be the example for the other police departments that are having a challenge being able to work within urban neighborhoods. We also wanted to bring you a special preview, AMPTV Now News, our Black Wall Street. There are 3 different Black Wall Streets, and Jacoya Murphy did a really fine job on being able to discuss that. So we thought we'd bring a small little excerpt of that so that people could be aware, and then relate that to Central Valley. And you know Nick Hill very well.
Yes, I know Nick Hill. He's out there in Bakersfield, and he's making some major changes. And
he's the former Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce president. And so we'll be talking with him also in the next couple weeks here as we do our State of Black Business in the Central Valley and also the state of California. So he'll be helping us with that. And then finally, we'll listen to an excerpt of Valley Black Talk Radio as we do. But for right now, we want to give you those headlines, those latest national news headlines. So let's take a look. And here are those trending news headlines that are happening online as we know it. Find out more news at morenews.amptvnow.com. According to News One, Wisconsin officer Matt Kinney, who shot and killed an unarmed Tony Robinson and used lawful deadly force, will face no charges in Robinson's death. Robinson was shot 7 times. All 7 of those bullets, shot at close range, hit the young man front to back. Robinson's family has hired lawyers to conduct their own investigation into the shooting and ordered an independent autopsy, according to the Wisconsin State Journal. Meanwhile, the local community is protesting the outcome. TheRoot.com reports that in HBO, their new series, Bessie Smith, 22 years in the making, Dana Queen Latifah Owens delivers a powerful performance as Bessie Smith, the Empress of the Blues, 1894 to 1937. Smith was publicly bisexual at the time when women and men were tortured and jailed for engaging in same-sex relationships. Her unconventional approach to blues singing was reflected in her unconventional relationships with men and women who were intoxicated by her self-determination, yet threatened by her indomitable spirit. In the Griot, the Marvel Cinematic Universe may be considering Selma director Ava DuVernay to direct one of its upcoming diverse superhero movies, which include Black Panther and Captain Marvel. Should DuVernay be hired, she would be Marvel's first female and first African-American director, a much-needed boon for the company, as it has been criticized for its lack of diversity. And that's what's trending on online news. And those are the headlines that are trending over this week. A lot of online news that AMPTV Now News likes to bring. And so now, a local headline, May 26th, we know that the California Black Chamber of Commerce will be in Bakersfield, California. And this is where they'll be doing I guess it's a summit talking about how businesses can get contracts with some of those corporations, Wells Fargo's, and some of those banks where they may not know about that process. And we've seen those processes before. We know
Yes.
about the 8A. We've seen, getting certified and what that means, and they'll be able to discuss that. But meanwhile, we're looking at I don't know if you want to talk more about Nick Hill and the Black Chamber of California, the California State Black Chamber.
Yes, I talked to Nick Hill today. He was talking to me about what they're setting up on the 23rd of May and what they're going to be bringing to the African American community in Bakersfield. And it's going to be
there's been a lot of changes. So people, one of the things that we liked about Nick Hill is that he was one of the reasons why we joined the Kern County Black Chamber. And people say, gosh, that's 2 hours away. Well, it's important for us because we're Central Valley-wide to be a part of all the chambers. And so under his leadership, we felt very confident and comfortable. And so we were really, I guess I was glad to hear when he became the president of the Council of Chambers for the state of, the state Black Chamber. So Aubrey Stone's California Black Chamber of Commerce, they had elected Nick Hill to be the president of the Council of Chambers. Now he decided to resign from that because he had just resigned from being the president of the Kern County Black Chamber of Commerce in Bakersfield, California. So he wanted to change up, and so now he is the acting consultant for them.
Yes, he's bringing up his topics and his expertise and
But
his
he's got
experience
a varied knowledge,
to help the African American community in business and get on their feet.
And if people are aware, he's got a varied knowledge in marketing.
Yes.
And he has his own company, and he definitely is someone to follow if you need that expertise as a black business on how to get off your feet. So we thought, what perfect person to be able to talk to him next week, the consultant for the president of the Council of Black Chambers. And then we'll also be talking with Aubrey Stone, who is the president of the state California Black Chamber, the entire state of that. I got to make sure I get that.
Well, he's
straight.
also the chairman of the
U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce
Chambers
Incorporated.
out of D.C.
Right. And the new president of the council, since Nick wasn't able to take that position, even though he was elected to it, is Rich Toston. And so he's the president of the subset of the council, right?
Yes, that's
the
correct.
COC. Got to make sure I get that right.
That is correct.
All these acronyms. So the Council of the Chambers is the president of that is Rick Toston. So we'll be talking with him as well to find out what they're going to do and find out the state of all of the businesses here in the state of California. And then we'll also bring that to a local level on how we can help here in the Central Valley. So we're going to be looking at that. Watching to see how we can help local businesses. We have some ideas. ONME, we've always had it's on me. Remember we had Ken McCoy that would do that special for us. And we'll be able to bring that back for the consumers and also for those black businesses. And finally, we want to talk about what we just heard about in one of our national headlines, teenager Tony Robinson. And that was a 19-year-old in Madison, Wisconsin, who was gunned down by Officer Matt Kinney, who shot him 7 times and then was able to, and we watched that video.
Yeah, we watched the video and we saw the video where they have the police.
It's pretty chilling. It was chilling for me.
Recorded through their car. And we only saw one angle, but when he stepped inside, we heard 7 shots fired and we saw a person drop to the ground.
And you can see that. And we won't show that this morning. This is a family show, family news program, so we won't be able to show that to you this morning. But we'll put that link on our website so that you can see that. And we wanted to talk about that because the irony is the Washington Post did a story on Fresno Police Department. And so we were lucky to get this from Mark Sandra, who sent this to us to let us know, hey, wait a minute, Fresno is supposed to be the model police department for everybody else.
Well, one thing they do is they try to build the relationships in the community, and they showing to the community that we are here to serve you. And
so the block parties,
so they do the block parties,
connecting with the kids early on, right?
And they show the police in a good light, because a
Right.
lot of people have fear of the police. As soon as you hear the police, they cringe up. They especially in the African American community. I know several people that I personally know. As soon as you say the police, are you going to call the police? They freeze up.
Right.
And they don't know what to do, or they don't want to be labeled as a snitch, or they don't want to be labeled as someone that just calls the police for whatever
And
reason.
more and more we're finding, even though we see that it's urban and ethnic communities that are clashing with the police, it is the police, the state of how things are, how they're trained is what the real issue is. We're finding more and more it's about that.
Well, when you have those block parties or those get-togethers that they have in the,
You're
like
talking about
Southwest
community
Fresno,
relations, right?
You're talking
Yeah.
about community relations, but also it gives the police an opportunity to say, "Oh, these are real people. These are people that I know, that I feel comfortable with," and they building a relationship. And the relationship with the community is very, very important.
It is. And so that's what this Washington Post article is about. And we want to make sure you know that, hey, we're at least one of those models. We're trying to make strides, okay, here in Fresno. We might have our unemployment rates and other issues in the recession that the article talked about and pointed out. But at the same time, at least the police department here is changing the way they do business and the way they train their officers' mindset as far as connecting with the community. So we
And
thought
also-
we'd let you know that. Some kudos, right?
And one point is, you don't see us protesting here in Fresno,
Right, and
because
that's
of
kept that down,
and
right?
that because of the community relations. So.
After the break, we're going to be talking about those 3 Black Wall Streets, Jacoy Murphy's report, and then we're going to be relating that to the Central California and also the state of California. Well, you're watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back. Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated of the San Joaquin Valley Alumni Chapter present the 22nd African American High School Recognition Ceremony 2015. So join us on Sunday, June 7th, as we celebrate from 3 to 5 p.m. students who are ready to take the next step. Admission is free and will be at the Fresno State Satellite Student Union. The cost for participants who would like their kente cloth is $15. Speaker includes Teresa Price, founder and executive director of National College Resource Foundation. For application and information on sponsorship or how your participant can be involved in this event for the 2015 High School Recognition Ceremony, call Kimberly Lewis at 559-246-0494 or Lisa Nichols at 559-577-9793. It takes a village to raise a child. What if you suffer a major heart attack, stroke, or invasive cancer and don't die? Would your family be able to financially maintain their standard of living without you? Ease your mind today by calling MKG Insurance Agency at 559-460-7504, 559-460-7504. Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Deli Najib, along with
Lennice Najee.
I guess before we comment, we should watch an excerpt of Jacoy Murphy, who did this for the AMP TV Now News, talking about the 3 Black Wall Streets and the devastation that occurred. We also had a documentary that we found online, and that was during one of our social media trends that we were reporting on, that we think people should watch. So I want to add that to our site and be able to talk briefly about that after Jacoy Murphy's segment. So let's take a look.
Hi, my name's Jacoy Murphy and I'm here with AMP TV Now News, and I'm bringing you a little bit of Black history on business. So one of the things that I thought was really interesting that I wanted to bring up today, and I just had to get it out, was Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street is one of the most influential times in Black history where Black communities were striving and thriving, and they were supporting each other and being so consistent with the financial sustainability that it was just unreal. And this is in the past. Today, it's not so much the same thing, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. So we've got these Black Wall Streets. Yes, there's more than one Black Wall Street, and I will get through to talking about all of them. The first one I want to bring up is Greenwood. This is probably one of the most prominent and, if known, well-known Black Wall Streets that are out there. So it's in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And this Black Wall Street pretty much was the epitome of everything that a Black community needed to be sustainable. You have lawyers, doctors, schools that are very successful with their students. And this is all due to the Jim Crow laws and productivity of it. And not that the Jim Crow laws were great by any means, but it definitely did cater to helping the Black community be more focused on themselves and entertaining the Black dollar around their community. So that was something that was a really important component of everything that was going on during this time, and helped out Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So you have a Black dollar that's circulating between 36 times to 1,000 times in that community is amazing. And just to see it flourish and to see that there were so many different things about that community that thrive, and it being one of only very prominent, very financially stable, the wealthiest Black community in America in its time is just an amazing fact to see. Unfortunately, you get to June 1st in 1921, where we have the Greenwood Massacre. I call it the massacre because it definitely wasn't a race riot. There wasn't any two parties or two races that were trying to intimidate one another. It didn't happen like that. It was more of an envious type of situation where we have the outside, which is white businesses, white people who were envious of the profits that this Black community was making because they weren't dependent on white supremacy or whatever it might be. So this community was bombed to the ground. This community had children, parents, community members, houses, businesses, just bombed out of just the envy of it being something that was flourishing and that lacked dependency on white supremacy. I want to go ahead and talk about the second Black Wall Street, which isn't as known. It is Paris Street in Durham, North Carolina. Paris Street.
We just got through watching that segment, Jacoya Murphy, who was giving us some insight on the Black Wall Street. And we also watched an excerpt from the 50-minute, I keep saying 50 minutes, but it's really a 2-hour documentary that shows the devastation that happened specifically in Tulsa, Oklahoma, one of the Wall Streets, and how 300 African Americans were killed. You had a number of businesses and churches burned down. And people were gunned down in the streets, and these were American citizens gunned down. And this was 1921, right, in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes, when I noticed also that the Black dollar circulated in that community at least 36 to 1,000 times.
It's a lot.
It's a lot to circulate compared to now. It maybe circulate, if we're lucky, 2 or 3 times.
And we're looking at the challenges here in Central California, let alone even Fresno. And you've talked to a lot of those small businesses here in Fresno.
What's going on here with the small business in our community? We take the Black dollar elsewhere. Okay, we're not patronizing each other's businesses.
We know money's being spent because over $750 million
just in Fresno
is the Black buying power, right?
Just in Fresno. But in this valley area, is about $3.3 billion approximately.
So it's getting spent somewhere. And so that's why we want to be able to talk with Nick Hill to get to some resolution and looking at the state of California and Black businesses and the media. That affects us because if the businesses aren't doing well, they don't advertise and they don't market because they don't have the money and dollars to do so, even though they want to.
Yes, it affects us as a media, and we represent that. And I went to talk to a lot of the African American business out there, and they are struggling. They are struggling, and they're struggling to a point where they cannot afford advertising. Right. And that's crucial. They say a quarter of your business dollars is supposed to be spent on
at least 25% minimum, and they're not able to do that.
To spend on
and
advertising.
So we're probably going to bring those ONME virtual cards back so that the consumer can start recognizing who those businesses are and bringing the Black businesses in that way, in the most economical way possible. And you were able to talk to a nationwide business owner that's doing something similar with the Black, I want to say, hair shops and hair products and everything.
Well, basically what they're doing is they're taking a discount card and they modeling the card from the store and the card that they carry around to the consumers, and they go directly to that particular shop and get a discount.
So it's the same concept that we had with the ONME virtual card.
Yes, exactly.
So I guess we should bring that back so that we can have that listing. And I think connecting with the California Black Chamber of Commerce and with Nick Hill, we'll be able to look further into that strategy, and also with the new connection that you have, we're able
Yes.
to see how we can utilize that and make it easier for the black businesses.
Challenge right now
So
for
we're
these
going to be
businesses.
doing a special on me Sunday mornings. We'll be doing that state of black business for California and also Central Valley for the next several weeks, so that we can explore and expand on this and help them grow. Because once they have a boost in their I want to say in their registers, then the rest of the community can prosper, and even us as a media, we prosper because they're able to spend their dollars.
I remember reading an article when the black business prospers, particularly affecting the African American male, it reduces the crime rate.
Right. So these are things we're really effectively looking at, and we'll be talking to different professionals. You are watching On Me Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back after the short break. Want to be a featured DIY expert on AMP TV Now News? Have 5 years experience in the field of knowledge you want to share with millions of viewers? Great. Find out how you can earn money by helping others make their lives better. DIY, do it yourself, can mean viewers are saving money, enhancing their lives, or looking at a more efficient way of doing a task. If you've got the information to share, we've got the hookup for the digital download. Find out more by going to news.amptvnow.com. That's news.amptvnow.com. Get help with sorting your finances by following the best DIY expert advice featured on AMP TV Now News. Get in-depth information throughout the week about the experts from news hosts Julia and Lennice, who do an in-depth report of what's in that $4.99 digital download. A digital load of information to help enhance your life, business, family, and more. See the latest DIY feature this week by checking out our website at news.amptvnow.com. That's news.amptvnow.com. A heart attack, stroke, an invasive cancer, end-stage renal failure, major organ, ALS, blindness, paralysis. Too much to think about. So why not ease your mind through MKG Insurance Agency? They'll handle all of your needs. Call them today, 559-460-7504, 559-460-7504.
Dinner can take hours to make, and who has the time? Hi, Kathy Mitchell here with my new Dump Dinner Cookbook. Now just dump and bake for full meals in minutes. Look at these smothered pork chops. Or this, the best pan pizza ever. Or start with chicken and mix veggies. Add a can of creamy chicken soup, a few chunks of Velveeta cheese, and top with a can of crescent rolls. Cheesy chicken pot pie with perfect flaky crust. Or try this shortcut ravioli lasagna. Dump frozen raviolis on tomato sauce. Add fresh spinach and cheese. Layer as high as you like for steamy, melty, home-style lasagna. Stop slaving over dinner. Make delicious meals in a flash with Dump Dinners, just $10. But wait, call now and you can get my best-selling Dump Cake Cookbook. Just dump and bake for the best cakes ever. You can get Dump Dinners and Dump Cakes for $10. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-781-0038 to get your Dump Dinners cookbook on this special TV offer. It's not sold in stores, so call now or go to buydumpdinners.com. Don't miss out. Call now.
Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated of the San Joaquin Valley Alumni Chapter present the 22nd African American High School Recognition Ceremony 2015. So join us on Sunday, June 7th, as we celebrate from 3 to 5 p.m. students who are ready to take the next step. Admission is free and will be at the Fresno State Satellite Student Union. The cost for participants who would like their kente cloth is $15. Speaker includes Teresa Price, founder and executive director of National College Resource Foundation. For application and information on sponsorship or how your participant can be involved in this event for the 2015 High School Recognition Ceremony, call Kimberly Lewis at 559-246-0494 or Lisa Nichols at 559-577-9793. It takes a village to raise a child. Welcome back to On Me Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
And on this rainy morning, even though it's not the same day that we're filming, it is raining and we're happy to see that. We have been talking about a lot about the state of Black African American businesses. especially in the state of California. We'll be exploring that, and also Central Valley wide. So we want to make sure you stay tuned for the next several weeks as we discuss that, go over it, and go more depth and talk to those consultants. Meanwhile, we want to talk to Valley Black Talk Radio, or not talk without it. We're going to listen to an excerpt of Valley Black Talk Radio. I think the cold is making my lips cold. I don't know.
Making my knees shake.
So let's take a look at that excerpt right now.
Can I talk a couple minutes about the new Washington Unified District?
Let's talk about that.
Excuse me, that came into existence in 2010, I believe, after they eliminated the West Fresno Elementary School District and merged it into the new district. The West Fresno Elementary School District had an annual budget of around approximately $8.5 million a year. They had a staff that looked like the Rainbow Coalition in every level, from the administration all the way down to the custodial staff and the bus drivers. They had a fair representation of everybody. It serviced about 85% of kids of color. But they wanted to make sure that the kids had a chance to see everything in terms of folks around them that they wanted role models to look at. The new district is in existence, and it's nothing like that. Absolutely nothing like that. In fact, I just heard today, and I wasn't aware of it. I probably should have, asked one of the board members. We have 2 African Americans on the board as of 2015 of the 7. There's 1 Hispanic board member. And there are, we know the rest, who the rest of them are. So anyway, they just moved their business office, their district office, further south. They were located at the West Fresno Elementary School District, which is right on the city limits, right there near the city. Now they're about 7 miles outside of the city limits. And I'm just really concerned because the growth and the development is going north. So why would you move your district office south where, you got vineyards and almond trees? So you're moving that direction? Maybe it tells me you're trying to get away from some folks. So, the folks that are out in the district office, you're isolated. So because you're so isolated, perhaps you can remain under the radar screen. Because what they did is they took $8.5 million out of the West Fresno community and simply said, we're not going to hire anybody that looks like the African American community at the level of administrators. We're not going to increase the 5 or 6 credentialed teachers that we have out there, and the classified staff, which is they probably have maybe 50 people working in classified, maybe a little more. They probably have about.
And as usual, we like to close out with Valley Black Talk Radio, which you can always watch on Sunday evenings, tonight, in fact. And from 8 to 9, we always do a rebroadcast of AMPTV Now News and also ONME Sunday mornings. And then Valley Black Talk Radio is on live from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. So please call in, again, from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on 1680 a.m. And you can also listen to your mobile or your TuneIn app. TuneIn is free. TuneIn.com, and also the mobile is 1680am.amptv now news. We'd like to thank you for watching this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. My name is Julia Dudley Najib, along with
Lennice Najib.
Have a great week.